U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio meets Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem as he kicks off his first tour of the Middle East. Washington says Kyiv and Brussels will be part of, quote, real peace negotiations as it looks to ease tensions with Europe. Papal thriller, conclave, and epic drama The Brutalist match in awards tally, with each taking home 4 prizes at the BAFTAs. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio visited Israel as the first stop in his first tour of the Middle East. On his trip, he met Israeli President Isaac Herzog and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Rubio discussed U.S. President Donald Trump's controversial Gaza proposal with the Israeli premier, among a range of other regional issues. The new U.S. State Secretary backed Trump's plan for Gaza as he cited a need for change.
What cannot continue is the same cycle where we repeat over and over again and wind up in the exact same place. Related to that, the president's been very clear. Hamas cannot continue as a military or government force. And frankly, as long as it stands as a force that can govern, or as a force that can administer, or as a force that can threaten by use of violence, peace becomes impossible.
Netanyahu says Trump's plan is the only viable option that enables a different future. The Israeli Prime Minister says he's maintaining close contact with the U.S. President to navigate Israel's next steps.
President Trump and I are working in full cooperation and coordination between us. We have a common strategy, and we can't always share the details of this strategy with the public, including when the gates of hell will be opened, as they surely will if all our hostages are not released until the last one of them.
Rubio will set off to Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates next as he continues his tour. He's opted to skip Egypt and Jordan after they refuse to accept Palestinians displaced from Gaza. Ukraine and Europe worry about being sidelined as Trump remains persistent to go ahead with direct talks with Russia to discuss an end to the war in Ukraine. In the coming days, a U.S. delegation led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio will engage in direct talks with Russia in Saudi Arabia. The move came as a shock to Europe, who believe they should also be included in any peace talks, as they also serve an important role. The move has prompted French President Emmanuel Macron to organize an emergency summit in Paris to discuss Europe's response. In a bid to ease tensions, Rubio said that Europe and Ukraine will be involved in, quote, real peace talks. He also noted that the Riyadh meeting is an opportunity to gauge the seriousness of Moscow on pursuing peace. U.S. President Donald Trump echoed a similar rhetoric on Sunday.
We're moving along. We're trying to get a peace with Russia, Ukraine, and we're working very hard on it. It's a war that should have never started.
Do you expect Zelensky to be involved in these conversations? What will his role be?
I do. He will be involved, yes.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky arrived in Abu Dhabi late on Sunday. It's not yet clear what's on the agenda for Zelensky. Kyiv has not shared details on the president's trip, nor confirmed rumors of possible Ukrainian participation in Riyadh. European leaders are set to gather in Paris for an emergency summit on the war in Ukraine to discuss recent developments next week. The summit aims to discuss Europe's response as the United States looks to move ahead with Russia peace talks. Over the past few days, Washington has made clear its desire to broker a peace deal in Ukraine, but has ruled out including Europe in the negotiations. The development has angered European leaders who say no lasting peace can be achieved without European involvement. The summit has not yet been officially confirmed, but European officials at the Munich Security Conference have hinted at it likely happening on Monday. Washington's decision to exclude Europe comes despite Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky's insistence on the involvement of Brussels. Speaking at the conference in Germany, he called for the formation of a European army. Zelensky says the days where Europe can rely on the U.S. are over, arguing that the continent must reduce its reliance on anyone but itself.
Germany is facing a defining moment as its economic model, long reliant on cheap Russian gas and exports to China, lies in tatters. Europe's largest economy has stagnated with no real growth in 5 years, leaving businesses and citizens anxious about the future. The upcoming national election on February the 23rd will be crucial in delivering a fresh strategy to revive the nation.
For the past 75 years, Germany has been built very much on consensus, stability-oriented, lots of checks and balances in the political system. And that makes rapid change very difficult. And we need to change the mindset to first understand we need to be much faster on economic transformations.
Multiple factors have contributed to Germany's decline. Excessive bureaucracy, shortage of skilled workers, slow technological adoption, and a lack of clear leadership from the outgoing coalition government are some of them.
For example, at the automotive sector, the shift towards electric cars, there many German companies have been too slow. They have enjoyed the success of the 2010s, and they have been too slow in understanding that they need to change and adapt.
On the other hand, external challenges such as rising competition from China and soaring energy prices following Russia's invasion of Ukraine weakened German companies' position. Skyrocketing electricity prices made German industries less competitive globally. Meanwhile, Chinese manufacturers, backed by state subsidies, have eroded demand for German machinery and cars. To revitalize the economy, many call for loosening constitutional debt limits to boost spending on infrastructure and education.
I really hope with the new government in Germany we can get this solved, because at the moment it's too much bureaucracy. Yeah. So we really need to make a more company and enterprise-friendly politic again.
As the nation grapples with these challenges, the next government will have to prioritize agility and adaptation to secure its future. North Korean leader Kim Jong-un attended a groundbreaking ceremony for new apartment construction on the anniversary of his late father's birthday, state media reported on Monday. Video from state broadcaster KRT showed Kim Jong-un making a speech at the groundbreaking event. This time the footage included his voice, which is rare. He spoke to a crowd of construction workers and then twisted the switch to ignite explosions. The project is in the suburbs of the capital Pyongyang, called the Hwason district. It's a part of a push to build 50,000 new apartments within 5 years.
The BAFTA goes to Conclave.
Papal thriller Conclave starring Ralph Fiennes was the big winner at the BAFTAs, taking home 4 prizes, including Best Picture.
Thank you, Ralph and Isabella. What you did to me on set was, when I watched you, was pure magic. It was beyond my grasp or understanding.
And the BAFTA goes to...
Epic drama The Brutalist equaled the award tally, scooping 4 trophies, including Best Director and Best Actor for Adrian Brody.
You know, this film is really about this pursuit of leaving something meaningful, and I think that's something we can all relate to. So I congratulate you all.
Mikey Madison.
Mikey Madison won the Best Actress for Palme d'Or winner Anora.
Really wasn't expecting this. I probably should have listened to my publicist and wrote a speech or something.
And the BAFTA goes to Zoe Saldana.
Kieran Culkin won the Supporting Performer prize for his role in A Real Pain, while Zoe Saldana took home the Supporting Actress award for Emilia Perez.
How do you begin to even approach a film that just defies categorization? And you start by taking the lead with Jacques Audiard. So thank you so very much.
Brady Corbet.
Brady Corbet won the Best Director for The Brutalist.
I'm very grateful, all the same, to my cast, my crew, my family. Thank you for, dealing with me for the last 7 or 8 years.
Amanda Anisimova won the WTA 1000 women's final here at the Khalifa International Tennis Stadium in Qatar. It was a 6-4, 6-3 straight set victory for the 23-year-old American, who's back in top form after taking a mental health break in 2023. Anisimova lifted the trophy on Saturday night after winning the biggest title of her career, set to bring her world ranking to number 18. Now attention shifts to the men's circuit. 5 of the top 10 men's players are here, with one shocking absence. World number 1 Yannick Sinner, seen here practicing in Doha just last week, agreed to a 3-month ban from the World Anti-Doping Association. A dark cloud has hovered over Sinner since last March, when the 23-year-old tested positive twice for a banned substance. But there's still plenty of star power on hand, including 24-time Grand Slam champion Novak Djokovic, who's back, determined to win his 100th singles title this week. The 37-year-old Serbian fan favorite is looking to get back on track after a hamstring injury forced him to drop out of the Australian Open last month. With Sinner out of the competition, attention turns to the number 1 seed. Earlier this week, I sat down with 21-year-old Spanish superstar Carlos Alcaraz and asked him how he feels being compared to legends like Nadal, Federer, and Djokovic.
Honestly, it's a privilege to be compared to those legends, but I try not to think about it just too much. Just trying to keep going my own path. I didn't expect, to be, in the position that I am right now in such a young age. I'm just 21. Hopefully, a lot of years ahead. But I just happy to have done, everything I've done already.
The week-long men's tournament begins on Monday, and there's more than 2.5 million euros up for grabs for the player who lifts the trophy. Adil Halim, Euronews, Doha.